Hey guys, welcome back to Dragon Traveler. In today's video, I want to give you guys some tips on how to progress fast, especially as a free-to-play. Now, whales, you're going to have more options. I'll talk briefly on those, but because I haven't played the whale side myself, I don't know the optimal way on spending. I do apologize, but these tips should be pretty generic across everyone, whether you want to apply it to your account now or if you feel like you're way behind on your account, but you've learned some mistakes, well, you can go ahead and start on a fresh server as they drop. If you're wondering what server I ended up on, I went to Southeast Asia because the reset time is 9 a.m. for me, which is much better. I'm on the second group of servers in, I think, server 6 it is, over there. So this server actually started about maybe 20 hours, probably about 16 to 18 hours ago at the time of recording this. You can see I've got my Ifrit at level 100. I've got my Oberoni at level 90, and we've got another one at level 81, limit broken, and then we've got 3 characters waiting to progress through. Oh, and before we get into it, this one is another sponsored video, so massive shout out to Dragon Traveler for sponsoring the channel when I'm playing the game anyway. So the first thing that I want to talk about is something big, especially when you get on a new server. And I did that this morning because this morning, like I said, the reset time at 9 o'clock is absolutely fantastic for me. And what I did was I was waiting in the arena for 9 o'clock. You can see I got pushed back to 43, but I managed to get myself up to level 21, rank 21. Now, the big thing about these is obviously as you climb higher, you can see like 32, I'm not getting any gems anymore because I've already been to that rank. So your first time entering a rank, you're going to get a big gem reward, which is really nice. It's not the end of the world. The big thing though is getting yourself up to, if you can, rank 50. Like I said, I'm free to play, managed to get there on the server. I'm going to get punted out because, spenders have such an advantage in this game. But whether you're a spender or a free to play, getting to rank 50 and unlocking this little pack to get 500 dust is really nice. I think it's about 900 arena points. Now, whether you might not think it's worth it, you rather focus on getting summons and stuff like that. But for this early game, I find that especially for free to play, once again, whales, you have way more access. So let me know, whales, whether this is something you guys would look at. But for free to play especially, that is a lot of the worm essence to go ahead and get this early on after the first daily reset on a server. So getting that is a massive one because it does let you limit break a lot more. You'll see the previous day I did buy this 100k. Now, whether I should have bought that or not, it was probably a bad decision, maybe. But in these first couple days, you will find yourself lacking on luminary experience. But then once you get everyone to level 100 and you start doing the class upgrades, it becomes everything is all about the worm essence until you get to about I think like level 100 of the diamond with the 1. So it's basically you've raised 200 levels. Once you get a bit past that, you do start needing experience again. But that's just a little rundown. But like I said, if you can climb the arena, it's going to give you more gems, and it's also going to give you access into some extra worm essence, which is one of the big roadblocks along with your experience here. Now, the experience, I'm probably going to not buy this one just because I don't think I'll need it. Maybe I will buy this one over here for 400 because if we look at that, it's 900 arena points for 200. If we go over to the store, we got 350 for 50. So if you were ever going to buy this and you can get that other one, it's worth it, but you got to just weigh up your values because eventually you will want to be getting the mythical summoning tickets as well because they're very important and stuff like that. So there's a lot of important things to get, but that's one way to progress really quick in getting that worm essence, because that's one of the big issues. The next way is not rushing into the dispatch mode, depending on where you are, because the dispatch is a very great way, again, to get worm essence. Now, if we go over here, you can see lifetime achievements. Once I get 5 more achievements done, I unlock B quality missions in dispatch. Now, this is a big thing because B quality missions in dispatch give 80 worm essence if they drop on the worm essence. Now, if you are someone who's looking at the shop here, because once again, worm essence is a bit of a roadblock, and you're considering spending 500 gems for 100 worm essence, I would seriously consider instead of that. Now, once again, this is everyone's preference. It's always when you're spending currency to get leveling stuff, people are always iffy. Some people just want to get summons. It's completely up to you. But for me personally, what I did yesterday is I refreshed to get worm essence on the Cs. Now, I got them very quick. If you want to refresh and get maybe 2 of them, because when you've got, I'll just do one refresh to show you guys. So when you got this, you can see, obviously we've got 4. So if you're trying to get maybe 2 of them to be worm essence, because that's your big roadblock, then it's not too bad to go ahead and spend, 20 or 30, because once again, you got 80 for B, I think it's 40 for C, and then 20 for D. So I avoid the Ds. C and B is kind of where I'm at. Once you get further and you get into A, it becomes 120 worm essence. But once again, it's something you can do. Just try and weigh up whether you're like that desperate for worm essence and you really want to push and keep progressing. If we take a look at my account, for instance, over here, if we go to stage progress, I'm ranked 39 at the moment. I'm sitting here at stage 8-39, and you can see there's a lot of people that have just gotten past that. So, 9-3 is up to rank 24. So that's kind of where I'm doing. But yeah, it definitely does help to get that worm essence to go ahead and upgrade your characters. Now, the next one is another one that I want to talk about, which is over here in the Forest Defense. Now, the Forest Defense, obviously, you can get decent sweep rewards. You can see I've already sweeped mine. Now, sometimes you would think, do this at the end of the day to get your experience at a higher difficulty, because today we do have 9-40 unlocked. However, I realized that I am struggling to get through 8-40, so the 9-40 is going to be a massive hurdle, and if I didn't get extra experience, it's going to be an even bigger hurdle. So I thought, I'm probably not going to get there today. So I just did this at the very start of the day. I did my sweeps. I got that extra, 52K from sweeps. And then it also got me into another milestone here, which got me another 50,000 experience. So basically not saying use this at the start of the day or save it for the end of the day. It's way up where you're at, whether you think you'll be able to optimize that efficiency and then take the best option that you can out of these ones. Because once again, progression, the one core part of progression is literally just resources and being able to level up your characters. The next thing I want to quickly mention is when you get your gear and you get the ability to quick forge and stuff like that, don't quick forge until your 6 main units all have gear equipped. Because if you just if I quick forge this and she's missing gloves, well, it's not really a benefit overall in terms of stats. I'd rather make sure everyone has a piece equipped to every slot before I start quick forging. Now, there may be the odd case in like your main DPS, especially if you're going with some boss damage, maybe that would be ideal. But in general, what my normal go-to is I click through my main 6 characters, go auto equip first, and then if there's any room for quick forging, that is when I would do the quick forging. But yeah, in general, don't quick forge unless everyone has that slot of gear equipped, because you don't want to waste it. Moving on from that, if we go back over, now we're going to shift into a bit of combat. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk quickly on summons. This isn't really a tip to progress fast. This is just something I'm doing, so I thought I'd just show you guys. If we go over here, you can see the wish list unlocks, and I'll have a wish list video coming out next. Mine unlocks in 34 summons. I'm at 14 until pity, so I'm very, very close to getting one. And the way this game works is like I'm liable to get it somewhere between now and pity, not right on pity. So I've stopped here, and now I'm 34 away. So I'm going to save up to get 34 summons from the Raid Up banner to unlock the wish list before I do these pulls, so that next one has a 80% chance to be off my wish list and a 20% chance to be something random. But I'd rather get something on my wish list than just something random over there, just something to consider. But the next thing is, as we look to progression, it's going to be about teams and manualing combat. So that's the next big thing. One, obviously having your characters upgraded is going to be a fantastic thing. But number 2 is going to be getting your manual play down pat so that you can actually clear stages. Now, this is one I'm actually stuck on. There's not too much creativeness with this one. Obviously, she's an assassin, so she can duck, so I want to block her. But I don't have a second good tank. Normally, I would love running second good tank. If I go over, not over there. If I had the Dragon Slayer version of her, I would run her on the front row as well as a bruiser. She's a warrior, but she is pretty chunky in that early game and good enough. But I don't have that version of her, so I don't want to use the other version yet. I'm not a massive fan. So I'm going for raw damage. But the thing you can do is, if you're unsure, just come click this button on a character and you can go ahead and reset them and put the investment into someone else. And so I'm going to, dance around, maybe try one of the SR tanks, see if it helps me out. You can play around with that sort of stuff. Now, once again, you want to be manually playing if you can. This is probably a bad stage to show it because I'm hard bricked. We might actually go over into the tower. I can't remember if I pushed the tower much this morning, so maybe we'll get to show you something here. Let's see. Okay, we're on normal for this one. We're a bit overpowered, so it should be fairly easy. But standard positioning stuff, if they've got a rogue and you're trying to block them, just go ahead and block them like that. Also, if you're using Oberoni, once you get the SSR version, she does play a shield to allies near her. So if you have like your range DPS in the middle slot, sometimes they will creep up into the range of getting that shield. Just something to consider. Sometimes you'd rather have them back. Sometimes you'd rather have them forward. Over here, what am I going to do? I'm going to go put you over there. We're going to block you. Actually, you know what we can do here? I can counter his assassin with my assassin. We'll just pop them in the same spots. And now I'm lining up my 2 DPS. Now I did manage to pull a Raven and also a Nemesis. You guys would have seen 2 of the characters that I wanted, along with starting my account with Tanith as my first pull. So I'm pretty happy. 3 out of my 4 SSRs so far have been the right ones. But that's pretty much the gist here. Now we're going to put it on manual play. You can also put it on slow speed if you want to make it a little bit easier to do the manual play. Now I try and have my pre-orders set, but then you're always going to see differences in manual play. And if you ever need a second to think, just drag up and it pauses the screen. Even if it's ability you can't target, you can just drag up and pause. So I'm going to go here. She's my only tank. So because she's my only tank, I really want to keep her protected. So popping her shield early on is going to be nice. Also, she will put the chill on, which allows me to get the elemental interactions, which is really damn nice. And because we're pretty healthy after that, I'm going to go straight into using my Raven next, but let's go ahead and use our Dragon if he can get off cooldown. And we're going to just pop, and you can really feather this. So if you play it on auto, you'll see you don't get as much coverage. So you can see here, we can actually hit all 4 of them with that because of the way it spreads, which is really damn nice. Then we can just go into Raven because we're in more of a bursty phase here, and we can go ahead and do that, and then we can jump in, slap with Ifrit, and away we go. But definitely manual play in terms of definitely with targeted abilities that have a specific range, you can really feather it to hit more enemies than what it will with the AI. If you watch the AI, it's really not that intelligent on the way it does it. It kind of just does the main target as the center. And so you can get a lot better results out of doing stuff like that. And then like, for instance, if I'm here and I'm using her shield, I'm like, cool. And it's like, oh, damn, we're getting really damn low here on our healer because she's getting hit by the assassin because I didn't actually do anything about the assassin because I'm an idiot. We can go ahead over here and do this. Now we can go ahead and pop this, once again, using it to hit the most range possible. And then most people will have an Ifrit, and you can probably just clean up with the Ifrit. Hopefully the Ifrit will kill before my healer gets dead. Once again, if I was on a higher deficit, my healer would have been dead as shit then, and we probably would have got steamrolled because I didn't do positioning. But that's a basic look at, in general. Once again, switch it on manual, slow it down if you have to, consider the enemy positioning, and then also consider your targeting as well. Always feel free to shift your positions, even if it's something that doesn't seem like it'll work. Shift your positions because sometimes you can just and then just watch a battle even on auto, and then you can get a feel for the way the battle's going. Flick it to manual and see if you can get some benefit out of that. But that's pretty much the way I try and push all the time, is just through manual play. But if you're busy, obviously just go away, get your AFK loot, come back and overpower it. That's the way these games are designed. You can push if you want to push, and you can just chill and wait for to be overpowered if you want to do that as well. So those are going to be the main things I look to for that fast progression. Once again, getting as much resources in terms of experience, and especially that worm essence, the dust for limit breaking your characters, is going to be very damn important. So that combines both getting them from the arena, getting them from dispatch modes and stuff like that if you can, but also manually playing to get through as many stages as possible, because as you get through those stages, you're going to get those extra rewards, and then you're also going to get extra AFK loot by doing that. Now, once again, I mentioned this, I think I've mentioned this in another video, but with your quick loot, just do it at the very start of the day. At the moment, it is like, people sometimes don't want to do the second quick loot for gems, but if we, getting some loot over here. But if you look at the quest, daily quests, it's unlock quick patrol 2 times. So at the moment, even if you don't normally like doing quick patrol for gems, I would 100% be doing it at the moment because it gets you extra points and extra dice to this event. So do that at the very start of the day, because even if you do it at the start of the day and then you go up higher, because a lot of the time in idle games, you're like, oh, I want to do it at the end of the day, so I'm as far as I can so I can get the most rewards. This game, if you go one stage further and you would have got extra AFK loot from those quick rewards, it will give it to you, and if you forget to collect it, don't worry, it'll be in your mail at the daily reset. So that is everything that I wanted to go through in this one. Hope you guys are going well. Once again, that dust, the essence. I can't even remember what it's called, the purple shit. The worm essence and the experience, super important in the early game in trying to maximize your progression, because getting that power boost is going to be huge. And then once you hit that brick wall and you can't get any more resources like that, that's when you got to switch to the manual play and go as hard as you can. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Another massive shout out goes to Dragon Travel for sponsoring this video. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.